Hello drivers! To celebrate the 30th anniversary of the release of Driver San Francisco, I wanted to try something new, or at least that I have not played yet, because we are talking about a mod that was released 2 years ago and that you may have heard of, Demolition Derby by Prey. Demolition Derby is as simple as it sounds. You have to destroy your opponent's car before you destroy yours. This mod adds a dozen new arena-style car battling events across San Francisco. As we are used to driving at high speeds over long distances in the game, it's a nice change of pace to be in a closed environment and stay in it. I actually remembered places I had forgotten, so it's also a nice way to revisit the game's locations. You still have different types of events, with the simpler 1v1 against easy opponents that should not be too challenging. With the absence of boost and shift weapons, it is closer to the usual Destruction Derby experience, to not name it. However, Driven San Francisco AI is clearly not designed for this sort of things, and battles can turn into looping chases as you try to face your opponent who is always behind you. If you want more challenge and a better experience, I suggest you try the boss battle, named after famous members of the driver community, although I was not included. This time the challenge is much greater and I think the AI behaves differently, but don't count me on that. What is certain is that you will have a much more difficult moment to destroy the other car. In this case, I'm up against Olanov in a police car, and he's had me a few times before. I've tried a strategy to overcome my car weaknesses. See, we are in the car park in front of the alleyway from the game's introduction, where Jericho hid to trick Tanner, and that is exactly what I am going to do to Olanov. For inspiration, I got behind the truck trailer while Olanov was turning around, and now he's damaging himself trying to get me.
Okay.
But my brilliant plan had a flaw the first time I tried it. See, I was at 1 HP myself when I came up with this strategy, but apparently there is a save state in this boss fight where Olanov can't self-destruct. You have to hit the last touch. And as you can imagine, I was destroyed at the same time and it was another fail.
Oh, what were you thinking, John?
Anyway, I tried my strategy again in a much better car state, and this time Olanov could not escape his fate.
Now that's a lot of damage! Yeah, you like that? Cause I got plenty more where that came from.
Now, if you really want a challenging experience, let me present you with the ultimate version of the boss battle. In this case, you will be up against 3 opponents who are only focused on you. Of course, you will be beaten a lot by Olanov, Snoopy and Fenderbender, which is your usual driver Discord experience. After losing a few times, I started to try strategies like the one I used for the single boss. But even if the arena is open, it's not a good idea to try and trick the enemies into hitting the walls on the highway, as they will escape and the mission will fail.
Hey, come on, guys, you're not even trying. Come on!
You could also try swinging in the arena, as there are some poles here and there, but as there are 3 enemies, you will inevitably get hit in the end. In fact, I tried this for 5 minutes without success until I realized that, unlike the less challenging events, this time you have access to the boost and the ram weapon. Yeah, boy! And that changes everything, because when you ram someone, even frontally, you will not lose any HP if you time it right. That doesn't mean there is no challenge, though, as there are a bit of a cooldown between each ram where you can still get hit. Here I was so close, but even if my opponent were low HP, so was I, and the ram didn't prevent me to the frontal assault of Snoopy. In the end, I managed to do it by taking out one car with the ram and then letting Snoopy and Olanov destroy themselves behind the pole. In this case, I didn't have to do the last hit and it was a success. Apparently, Boss Battle Ultimate 2 and 3 are even more difficult, so let's stop here for today's showcase. If you want to try it, you should know that Demolition Derby is a community mod, which means that you need the DNG hook that allows you to install mods, and the mod files from Prey. For your peace of mind, I recommend you to do this on a French installation to avoid the games crashing due to conflicts with other mods. Thanks to my drivers, driverdimension.com, French Contact, Neurosins, Tankon on YouTube, Paul Lanois, Mut, David Autosport, Denis Frontier, Pontiac, Joshua Bader and Olanov. You can also join the Redriver Club by clicking on the join button below the video. And in any case, see you soon, drivers.